How's it going, everybody? Josh here from Spawn Fly Fish, and we're back with another simple fly that simply gets the job done. If you watched our last one, we talked about getting individuals into fly tying specifically for sea run cutthroat. Now we are going to step forward on your journey of tying and really work your way up to the Steamboat Island leech, which is my favorite pattern in the beaches of Puget Sound. So we are going to progress on the last fly and practice another technique that is very necessary in fly tying. So in the vise, we have a Gamakatsu B10S, size number 8. We have a 3.8 millimeter tungsten bead from Hareline, and we are throwing in some Danville 210 fluorescent orange thread. All right, so we're going to wrap our thread back, and as most flies, and when you talk about a progression, it's going to look eerily similar to the first one, just a different sort of step in the evolution of this. Alrighty, so like I mentioned previously, Spawn's fluorescent southern peach, gotta have it. This is the Marabou here, so we're looking like right there, and this one's going to be different, so, and I'll explain that here in a second. So we'll tie in that Marabou, wrap that backwards, and trim off the excess here. So we got this tail section done, but if you've seen the Steamboat Island leech, you know that we don't have these free-flowing fibers in the back. So what we're going to do, unlike the last one, is we're going to pluck those. And pluck, don't cut with scissors because you do want some variation here. Just keeping it looking natural. And that looks pretty good. Alrighty, now we're going to work our thread up to the top. So add a little bit of a thread dam here to just hold that bead in place while we work. And we are going to jump back to the ice dub from Hareline in UV shrimp pink. You can also do this in Spawn semi-seal. But as we progress in this kind of series of flies that we're tying here, we'll stick with the same materials for right now. All right, so we're just going to dub our thread here, as you can see, getting a thin layer, and we're going to start up by the bead, work our way back, and then come back forward. We don't need a lot up here at the front. See how I kind of moved that first wrap backwards? Touch those pretty tight. We're going to have to add some more here. And we're redubbing some of this ice dub here. And we don't have to worry just as much about the taper, just given that we're going to brush all this out. And you'll see, if you've seen the Steamboat Island leech, this next material is going to kind of cover this all up. Alrighty, so this is roughly the same fly as we tied previously, but what we're going to do here is we're going to add another element in your learning process. And this is a good thing to know. It's something that we use a lot here in Washington. And that's just wrapping a feather. For those of you that know how to do this, no problem. This is still a fly that you should have in your arsenal. All right, so we have a Marabou feather. I picked out a bit of a premium one here. And as you can see, I stripped the back section of it. All we need here is the front. So we're going to tie that in facing backwards. You don't need these beginning fibers. Alrighty, so then what we're going to do here, we have this feather, and we're going to wrap this feather. What you're going to want to do is make sure that these fibers don't get trapped and they're all flowing backwards. And we don't need a lot of wraps. We want the ice dub or dubbing of choice to shine through, especially when this thing gets wet. Oh man, I got stuck there. It's always okay to back up. Okay, good to go. And just wrap that feather. Make sure that stem doesn't get twisted. And 3 wraps definitely ought to do it. So now we're going to create a bit of a separation here in the fibers. So as you can see, I let the ones that I want on the fly flow freely, whereas I hold the others in my right hand. Take the bobbin up with my left, drop it, and then one in front, and we have secured that feather. Go ahead and snip that off. And now what we're going to do, we'll throw in a couple more wraps here just to really secure it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to just brush it out a little bit, untrap any of those fibers that might be stuck. If you got a rotary function, you can use it here and make sure that it looks good all the way around. So as you can see, these fibers that I chose are going to flow out past the tail. And they're going to create this little wispy effect that I really like in the water. And if you've seen the Steamboat Island leech or you fished the Steamboat Island leech, you'll see a similar profile. Alrighty, last thing to do here is we're going to create a little bit of an ice dub collar. So we're going to redub our thread here. We don't need a lot for this spot. Just redub it here. This just is to eliminate that thread collar, which is not a big deal, but if you got some cool materials, might as well use them. And most of these materials are cooler than thread. Alrighty, so we're looking pretty good right there. And all we have left to do is add a little head cement to this thread. I'm going to do it before I whip finish. Some people frown on this. I don't seem to mind it. Just get a couple wraps there, and now we can whip finish. And that's that. So now you have progressed into 2 patterns that you can tie that will bring you success, that are easy to tie, enter you into the sport and art of fly tying, and will truly bring you success. And that's what we're trying to pitch here. We're not just teaching you how to tie a fly, we're teaching you how to tie a fly that'll bring you success on the water. If you didn't already, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.